Hey everyone, it's another day at Mentor.Social, and here we are. I'm Scott Hosbin.
I'm Dashay Williams.
And man, oh man, have you ever dreamed of being an MMA fighter or maybe just a technology billionaire? Well, you know what? It's possible to do both at the same time. Who knew? Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are really going to do an MMA fight against each other. If this becomes real, it's unbelievable. We saw it today. I don't know, Shay, if you saw that the Italian government said they could use the Roman Colosseum to fight each other. Can you believe that?
That blows my mind. That's absolutely crazy. But this is like the day and age that we're living in. Like anything is possible.
Yeah, it seems like it gets a little wilder, and then the possibilities are bigger every day. And I think it does touch a point, though, in that, you know, the life is a fight. And, you know, we were talking earlier that, you know, no one is coming to save you. I mean, I think you grow up and you hopefully have a good family, and you hope that they're there to take care of you. But at the end of the day, it's a one-on-one fight. It's you all the way to the end. And most importantly, if you're thinking long-term, you should be the one to change the course of your family's destiny for the rest of their lives, you know, and for generations to come. If you look at, Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, this will be a generational change. Their lives aren't just changed for themselves today. Their families' lives for generations to come will be different. I mean, I know both of us are first generation children of going to college.
Yep.
And I know it's important to us to make a difference so that our families going down the road will have a better and easier life.
I mean, just talking about this whole topic, I think about one of our mottos for my last senior year playing basketball. On the back of our shirts every day we wore the quote, 1% better. So what I think of when I hear that, it's like every single day, all you have to do is get 1% better than you were yesterday.
A little better every day.
Because you're not aiming to be, I want to be 50%, 100% better. Of course, everyone would love to do that. But if you just aim for that 1%, you are bettering yourself in the long run, okay? So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus, you're only going up. You're not backtracking. So just think of those small wins as big wins, okay? So everything is about just like the long term, not even just short term. It's for the long term gain. But you always got to be consistent, stay positive, and get better every day. And that's how it is.
Yeah, and I think it's, sometimes it's easy. You'll hear people say, well, I didn't grow up, in the right family, the right neighborhood, the right location. I'm not as smart as other people. I get tired easy. If you fall down that pattern of what you can't do and all your limiting abilities, it's just going to limit your growth. I think, it's so important to just, whatever your situation is, that 1% a day. Okay, it's like the Muhammad Ali quote, I think it is, or Martin Luther King, right? Where if you can't run, walk. It's just critical that you do every little bit that you can to just get yourself better.
I mean, when we saying all these different quotes, it just puts in my mind that you have to start from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So no matter where you are, this person can be this far, this person can be this far. You have to start where you are. More of the story is just start. That's the hardest part, is just starting. Like, if you don't go to the gym every day, the hardest part is what? To start going. So how do you do that? Slowly but surely, take it one day at a time. After one day, you go to the next day. You keep pushing yourself until you break all those barriers and all those records that you used to stop at, right? That's what we mean by 1% better, just kind of little steps at a time, getting to where you want to be and achieving your goals.
I think it's important there that the idea of breaking your goals down to achievable steps. I think often a lot of people make goals that are just really lofty, like next year I'm going to make $1 billion. Well, anything can happen, and then I think it's good to reach that far, but you also want to then break that down. If you're going to make $1 billion, okay, what do you have today? 0? Okay, well, it's okay. You don't need to make $1 billion in one day, but okay, what increment do you need to earn to hit your mark down the road? And I think, you bring up the gym piece. There's times where, I go a period of time without going to the gym, and I'll allow myself, I'll say, if you just show up to the gym, you achieved your goal for that day. And there's days in that when I first go back, it's always hard. I'll go in, I walk in the door. I don't feel like it. This isn't the day. And then, but I said, okay, I walked in the door. I allow myself to have just that most minuscule goal possible because then I can achieve that. And then I say, okay, another day I go there. Well, you're already in the building. Let me do 5 minutes on the elliptical. Okay, next day is maybe it's 10 minutes on the elliptical. Then maybe, okay, let's do the elliptical and some weights. And each day it's just an incremental growth. And I think by doing that, it's a lot easier than saying, I'm going to go to the gym every day at 4:30 in the morning and do a 2-hour workout. It's not realistic to go from 0 to 100 all the time. Sometimes you need to have sort of break your goals down into small bite-sized pieces to achieve the bigger goal.
And I think just feeding off of that, you know yourself the best, correct?
Yeah.
So you kind of know your schedule. Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? I go to work from this time. You kind of have like a schedule and know where you can fit things in at. So that's going to be key. Each individual is going to be different. You might hear someone wakes up and go at 4:30, but they're a morning person. They get everything out the way in the morning. You might be a night person. You might do better if you work out at night and then go to sleep. So therefore, keep that in mind that each individual will have different sets of schedule, but it's up to you to kind of fit it in and know your body, know your goals, have your mindset right, and what you can achieve. Make it achievable.
I think one thing even in that is not comparing yourself too much to other people and running your race. And then, if you feel unmotivated, one of the best things you can do is what I like to do. If I feel down about anything, it's just I start listing things I'm grateful for. Okay, I'm grateful I can walk. I'm grateful I can breathe. I'm grateful that the temperature is a good temperature right now. And I just keep finding more and more. And I'll sit there in my head over and think over and over of things that I'm grateful for. And you just can't be low energy, depressed, and grateful at the same time. Those can't coexist. So really find a way to just recite and find every little thing that you're grateful for, regardless of your situation. If you're alive, you have something to be grateful for. So it's really important to be an expert in finding all the things you're grateful for and then be respectful of those gifts. Because if you think about it, whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever it is, but if there's any guidance behind all of this. Imagine, you gave someone the ability to walk and run and they just lay down every day. Imagine you gave someone the capacity to make billions of dollars and they were just doing the minimum, making minimum wage. It's disrespectful. It's not likely that the universe is going to reward us with more until we truly appreciate and use up the capacity that we have now.
Yeah, honestly, it just goes back to everything that we've been preaching about, like on the previous episodes. You really have to put the work in to see results, right? So I'll go back, basketball terms, I'll relate it back to that, like a lot of my experience, right? So say you have two players of equal talent, or maybe someone who's not even of equal talent, but the person who may not have as many skills, they're going to the gym every day, working on the skills, do. The person who has natural God-gifted talent doesn't work on those skills. They just think, oh, you know what? No one's ever going to catch up to me. That person who's been working and putting in all those hours will eventually catch up to the person who is naturally gifted. Yeah. And they may even surpass that person based off the work that they put in. But you see, if the naturally gifted person was still putting work in, they can hone and keep taking in and keep thriving and being on top. But the person who does put in work, and I've seen it from, firsthand experience, those people do thrive, and people with naturally gifted talent, eventually it catches up to them and they are being passed.
I think it goes back to that gratitude. You're not as grateful for those gifts because it was bestowed on you so easily. I think used to see it in MMA often as well. There'd be that one person that wasn't sort of naturally gifted, and the people that were just naturally good, they would hit a peak and they just didn't have the same drive to keep training and go further. Whereas the folks that really were mediocre very often, that just always bothered them not being the best. And they just never stopped, and they kept training and training and training, because ultimately that's what matters. The work you put in is what you're going to get out. And often it's about that drive. And I think sometimes when you're naturally gifted, you don't really, appreciate it as much.
I think I relate that back to like a hunger, right? So I know in basketball terms we say he's hungry, that person hungry. They want it. They just simply want it more than you do. Like, if a person is starving and they really want to eat, how bad are they going to work to get that food? Pretty much what it goes down to, survival of the fittest. Like, I'm hungry, I'm starving, I have to do anything possible, any means necessary to get to that food. And how are they going to do that? By working, right? If that person's not hungry, I got talent, oh, no need, I'm not even hungry right now. Oh, that person's coming for you. Someone is always coming to take that spot. So you have to remember to always stay on your toes, continue to work on your crafts, work on your hobbies, and just continue to stay diligent.
It brings up an interesting thing with me where, growing up, when often you think, okay, once, if you get some money, you can just lay back and relax. And everybody says, oh, everything's easy when you get money. And I think it's a total falsehood. And that's where I hope every episode, as things come up, we can sort of break the bad training that a low-income environment creates. Because that's, people don't mostly have money. It's because of education and bad training and mindsets more than anything. And we need to break that. So, one thing I thought of is that, I thought once you get some money, you're set. And it's false. And that's why you see a lot of people that come into quick money and they lose that money quick. Because the reality is, once you have something, everyone's coming for you. So this sort of like analogy of a fight, between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, it's kind of like you're out in the jungle, it's you against the world, and never be surprised. People out there, they'll smile, but they want what you have. When you have good things, you got to watch your back with it, and you got to keep hungry, because if you slow down, it's basically you're either eat or you're going to be eaten. So you got to keep that hunger, and what you have to learn to protect it, and be aware that the people out there in the world that don't have something, they want your stuff, and they want to get it without the work that you put in. And it is just unequivocally the truth. As much as I thought that was crazy thought 20 years ago, today I will tell you 100%. It could be you have a good relationship with your spouse. There's people out there, they want that. You could have a lot of money. There's people out there, they want that. You could have confidence. You know what? They want to break that down because that makes them insecure. No, a lot of people like to feel that their average being is just the best that can be out there. So when you're out there excelling, it makes them uncomfortable. So you got to be paying attention and guard everything, your self-esteem, your relationships, your money, your mindset, everything. You have to protect that at all costs.
Definitely. Protect your mind for sure. And focus on yourself. Focus, like you're saying, be aware. There's so many things out there that's trying to attack you from here. You really just have to stay mindful and really focus in on yourself. Like, what can I do to protect myself in these situations? Well, how can I better myself in this? So really, the outside force is going to be there. They're always going to hit you, punch, come left and right. But how are you going to guard yourself? How can I do that? How can I protect? You have to learn new maneuvers on how can I defend myself? How can I keep myself in this bubble nice and safe? There's always going to be someone trying to pop that bubble. No one really wants to see you happy, right? So you just kind of have to depend on yourself, your mind frame to keep you in a positive spirit and kind of move forward and look for adversity. It's definitely going to come, right? No one has a perfect life. It's not just going to be a nice white picket fence you live. No, there's going to be stuff always coming for you, always. So just be on guard and try to stay happy, stay positive, and stay focused.
So, we're about to wrap it up, and appreciate the time as always. And really, the main point is the world's rough, and you know what? It's not always fair. And when you connect to this and you're upset that this isn't fair, that's not fair, you've got to be almost more surprised when a situation is fair. And you've got to drive and work hard and fight for what is good for you. And then more importantly, what's good for the generations of families that come after you. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Have
Bye.
a good one. Bye-bye.